I'm extremely excited. I'm sorry, I'm so excited. This looks amazing.
This is a dinner that I made for you for your last night in New Orleans and to celebrate us finishing the series. And
I've been looking at this plate, salivating.
I have to do this so subtly and
Do you want me to?
do it? You do it.
I'm not gonna be able to do it either.
So.
Oh god.
I know it's hard.
Why? It's so slippery.
It's hard.
Here, let me just get a paper towel. One moment.
Why not have strawberry salsa?
Oh god.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
now that we've been able to
Let's manage to
successfully
open the
bottle,
water. What we have here is
a
veggie
fucking
burgers.
amazing meal.
Veggie burgers and a little spoon for the sauces.
Alright, well, I'm gonna just, like, there's all of these different, this looks like a tomato sauce, this is a creamed spinach, this is a yogurt sauce.
Yeah. Basically, that's it.
This looks amazing. This has got this amazing spinach salad that's got
We have
spinach, feta. What's the dressing in here?
I don't. It's sorry, I've made so many things, and the salad was so long ago now that I've totally forgotten what the salad is. But it's one of those basic dressings like olive oil and lemon. And,
You're an old hat now.
It's
Just a
salt and
basic
pepper.
dressing.
It's nothing particularly special or fancy. This is
so tell me what else is on the plates and what's the sauce?
So what we have here is this is just a very basic tomato sauce, which is canned tomatoes and onions with a little bit of parsley. Sauteed the onions to the canned tomatoes, and this is to appease the Italians who are mad that I didn't make a sauce. So like, fuck off, I'll make a sauce.
Oh my god,
And
this
then-
just looks so good. Like, I can't stop saying how good it looks because it looks so amazing.
Well, but the funny thing is, we don't know how it tastes yet, but I do think I succeeded in one dimension because we talked in our Making Dinner for Someone Else section about making food look good for people. And this was a very deliberate choice on my part where I wanted to make sure that this looked like a really nice meal, and then my magazine designer instincts kicked in, and so as you can see, there's a lot of diversity of color. Mm-hmm. So there's
the red, the white,
very
brown.
green leaves. There's a red sauce, a green.
This
This is creamed spinach, supposedly.
This looks great.
And that's the cream spinach. So there's white, red, and green, all very appetizing, healthy colors. There's I deliberately bought a yellow tomato, and it was a very expensive yellow tomato but I knew that we were going to have a red sauce, so I thought a yellow tomato with the red sauce would make a nice visual contrast.
Look at you.
So there's a lot of deliberateness in the arrangement of the food. And
I'm so excited.
The veggie burger, you gave me spinach as my ingredient.
Oh yeah, so maybe we should. I want to eat this, but should we explain? So Nathan wanted.
I already explained it to them.
Oh, you already explained. Oh, so they get yeah.
They've had a whole monologue. They've watched me make this meal.
So I have a number of questions, but first I want to taste it because I'm so excited. Oh my god.
So it's
That's a really good burger.
So that's a chickpea and spinach and onion burger.
It's really good. It's really nice.
Yeah, the crispiness is good. Let me probably check these files.
And the sauce is, the tomato sauce is good on it.
Yeah. Because I thought we could have ketchup, but yes.
And you toasted the bun?
Well, one of the things that we had talked about was how toasting, toasting the bread.
These are so good.
These are chickpea fries, right? So, they.
Oh my god.
These are a Bittman recommendation chickpea fries. And the funny thing is, I started them because he said they were easy. Well, they were easy, But, have you tried the creamed spinach?
It's good.
It's quite nice. It's spinach just cooked in cream.
Mm-hmm.
And so the spinach absorbs the cream. It looked so ugly when it was done that I thought, oh, this is going to be horrible.
Oh, it tastes really good.
It was actually quite good.
The fries with the tomato sauce is great. You should try it.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, so the tomato sauce is just basic Italian tomato sauce, and so when I was thinking, you gave me this challenge, make a meal for you, and we said, well, let's come up with an ingredient, and it was spinach. So I thought back on all of the stuff that we've done, and I thought, and I went through the book, the recipe book, which has.
Well, before you get to the recipe, I have a question. Which is, so I gave you one ingredient, and you made so many things.
Yeah.
None of which really we made during the show. It's
No.
not like you made spinach tacos or spinach quiche.
Right.
So how did you?
We made a salad, but this is a different.
This is a
salad.
very different
This is a very
salad.
different salad.
How did you come up with what you were going to make? Because essentially
Well-
you were giving no guidance.
No, I know. Other than use some spinach, which was actually just intimidating.
I mean, it looks great. It tastes fantastic, but it's also super varied.
Yeah.
You've got crispy, hot,
Well-
cold, soft.
This was one of our.
You've got salad, you've got fries, you've got the burger. It's all vegetarian,
Yeah.
it's all healthy.
And the thing is, so where did I go? Well, I started with the Bittman book, which is 1,000 pages, but it's still terrifying. Like when you open it and you look at it, it's just a billion different things you could make.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now, how did you choose amongst
well,
all
I
of that?
started to look at the categories of food that there are, and I started to think, well, how are we going to build a meal? Well, we need a main thing.
Mm-hmm.
We need like a, and I looked at a few different things. I was looking at things you could make with spinach, right? So spinach actually helped narrow it down in the book. So it's like, well, what's a main thing you can make with spinach? And I looked at a few different things. Of course, there's spinach quiche, but we'd already done a quiche. And I thought, burgers would be, because you had this one for a bean and spinach burger. I thought, well, that's a great one because a burger is one of those things that gives the opportunity to do the principles, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you've got a crispy bun,
Mm-hmm.
you've got soft insides, you're trying to mix different
Textures
flavors,
and
stack different flavors, and it's kind of like a sandwich.
It's so. I'm sorry. I'm like trying to keep up the show, but also it's just really tasty.
And I thought, well, then I can do, okay, well, with the burger, it needs some sides. Well, fries. And then I looked up his fries. And I thought, well, I could do potato fries, but he had this suggestion for chickpea fries. And I thought, well, we've done things with chickpeas, and the burgers I'm going to do with chickpeas, because he said...
Honestly, you can just use the same ingredient.
Well, I
you would
thought,
think.
that's actually my reasoning, that was where my reasoning
Well, good
began. It
reasoning.
turned out not to be the case. So, the burgers, and he said if you use chickpeas instead of black beans, because at first I was doing a black bean burger, he said if you use chickpeas, it has a nice brown, golden brown crispiness to it. And I thought, I really like chickpea
These are actually
flavor.
a very good.
We've
veggie burger.
done a chickpea thing on the show, so I'll make a chickpea burger. Then I thought, oh, chickpea fries, and I could reuse the chickpeas. Well, turned out that's not the case because these are made with chickpea flour, which is made of dried chickpeas. So,
And which you had a hard time getting.
I had a hard time getting the chickpea flour. They didn't sell it anywhere, but I improvised. I bought a bunch of dried chickpeas, and I just ground them up in a coffee grinder.
That's amazing. Honestly,
And then made flour.
that's fantastic.
I made
Like, that's,
flour in a coffee grinder.
That's actually. It's funny because on one hand you feel like, you narrate yourself as so unprepared to do the thing. But on the other hand,
Yeah.
you actually did the thing that I think most people wouldn't do, which is like they would have been like, oh fuck, I don't have chickpea flour. And you're like, no, I know what chickpea flour is. It's just a ground chickpea.
I nearly gave up because I went to one Whole Foods, no chickpea flour, and the guy goes, well, we might have it at the other Whole Foods, the big Whole Foods. So then I went to big Whole Foods, and I biked all the way. I biked like many, many miles. And the big Whole Foods didn't have the chickpea. Every other kind of flour, almond flour, oat flour, everything. No chickpea flour. And so then I Googled alternatives to chickpea flour, and it said, well, you could always just make your own by just grinding up chickpeas. It's just ground chickpeas. It said do them in a food processor, but I don't have a food processor. I had a coffee grinder. But I know it grinds. I know it grinds beans, coffee beans. So if they're really hard, so I know it can grind anything into dust. So bought a giant bag of chickpeas and made chickpea flour.
They're really good fries. This is a really good burger. How do you like it?
I like it a lot. And what I tried to do with the burger was this diversity of flavors. So,
Yeah, and you have it, right? The burger is super savory, and it's got a nice crispy edge on the outside. You've got soft and crispy. The burger bun is both soft and crispy as well, because you toasted the insides. You got juicy tomato, you got the crisp lettuce, and then the sauces really make it. Mm-hmm. You got the yogurt sauce is a little tangy.
I like
the tomato sauce is really nice and rich, and the cream spinach, which I've had like on the burger and on the side by itself, is fantastic.
The cream spinach, yeah. I had it on the
fries. The salad's nice and refreshing too in between.
Yeah, the salad is nice and fresh. The salad has feta and a little bit of nutmeg in it. In fact, there's nutmeg in a couple of things. There's going to be nutmeg in our dessert.
Yeah, Yeah, so anyway, you chose the burger. You chose the chickpea fries. How did you choose the salad?
Well, I just wanted, first I wanted a salad with spinach. It was the first salad in the book with spinach. And so, at first I didn't know if I was doing a salad, but I had the fries and the sauces in the burger, and I thought, well, yeah, that's cool, but I want to fill the plate. I want to fill the plate. I want one more side dish. And I was thinking, what's a side dish I can have? And then I thought, well, a salad is good. And the nice thing about a salad is it's easy. We've done it. And you showed me at our picnic lunch that it was easy to make a salad that was pretty good. And I thought, well, I'll make a salad, but I'll make a different one. And because spinach is my ingredient, I got a giant pile of spinach. I'll make a spinach salad. And he said spinach and feta, with a little bit of dressing, and then drop some yogurt on it. So
this is a very good dressing too. It's not heavy. It's just a nice.
Yeah.
Like it just tastes like lemon oil.
Now, I will say that a lot of this is because Mark Bittman is really good at recommending recipes. But the
first difficulty you had when we started the show was how do you even approach the thing? How do you And it's not like I said I want these things. I just said I'd like some spinach.
I wouldn't have been able to go to, because the arrangement of a meal. I mean, I think he has some parts about it in the book, but that's tough. The choices. He doesn't really talk about choices. What he does is he's like, there's 13 different ways you can make this salad. You can do it with this, you can do it with this, you can do it with this. And you go, okay, but which way do I do it? And he has your kind of Atticus thing, but he's like, well, it depends on what you like. I'm not going to tell you. But you're like, okay, well, I just don't, I don't know.
I don't have a metric for even deciding.
But,
But you also didn't follow him to a T. When I was here just for a bit.
Yeah.
I saw you improvising. I mean, you made your own chickpea flour, which is amazing. You didn't. These sauces don't necessarily go it's not obvious that you would make all of these sauces.
No. Well, yeah.
And while you were cooking the dessert, all I kept hearing you say was like, "No, it says this, but I actually don't think we need all of that. I think we only need this."
Yeah. Yeah, right, because I did have to depart from recipes at a certain point and figure out what's essential, what's not.
And well, the goal has succeeded. You've succeeded in the sense of two things. One, this is a fucking amazing meal. But two, it did the thing that you're supposed to do when you're cooking for someone else, which is I'm super impressed. I feel very cared for.
Right.
We thought about what I would like. And I'm just, thank you. This is so nice.
I wanted to show you what you taught me, right? I wanted to show you me thinking, using the techniques that we discussed, so that it's not like it just went in one ear and out the other. But it's like, this is an application, and it's a new thing that recalls some of the previous things we did. We did chickpea things, we did salads, we did a toasted bread sandwich, we did a yogurt. We didn't make tomato sauce, but we talked about it.
And it seems like you also have a bunch of extra stuff for later in the week, which is our other thing.
I don't have a big mess. I mean, one of the things about... I will say that doing this did not... This is clearly a thing that is nice as a special
Do
thing.
rarely for a special occasion.
But my God, I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hard to succeed, but it's just so much work. I mean, it's hours.
I think that's right. And I think this is sort of the other thing that we talked about, right? Which is, I think when you're cooking for someone else, you go out of your way, you know, you make it special, you go get special ingredients. If you were just cooking for yourself, you go shopping once every 2 weeks, you get your batch of vegetables, you don't need to make it look pretty, you know, you don't need to go to Whole Foods for chickpea flour, you just sort of make the stuff with whatever you have in the house.
I will say though, but
these are very good. Although, like, if you have a place that has
flour-
chickpea flour, you could end up being a person that just buys chickpea flour once a month because you make a lot of
making the
these.
chickpea flour was so easy that now I want to make a big bunch of it and just keep a bag of it on
And you
hand.
can just make these
And
regularly.
I can make these any time. Because it literally involves no ingredients other than chickpeas. You just grind them.
What else are in the fries?
What was I saying? The chickpea fries were the first thing I made, which is why it's difficult to remember because you have to make the mix, then you have to refrigerate it for half an hour.
Oh, so
You
solid.
lay it out on the baking sheet, you refrigerate it, you put some plastic over it, and then you have it and you fry it up. But I can't remember what else is in the chickpea fries. I'll have to look it up. But
I mean, it seems like it's mostly chickpea flour, but
it
there's
is.
still-
It really is not much other than chickpea flour. It's like,
It's really good.
yeah, he's right. Mike Bittner is right. The chickpea fries are good. But as I say, I mean, it's something you don't. It was really hard. I made a mess everywhere. You know, I'm not looking forward to cleaning up the kitchen. It's, you know, I bought, because I went to Whole Foods, I spent too much money on some stuff.
I think that's the thing about the cooking for someone else.
Yeah, you want to do it nice.
Although, you know, you got more burgers for more than one meal, I think, at least.
It's true. And frying those up is really easy.
Frying those up is
I put those in a piece of Tupperware and
you just fry one up,
fry one up for lunch.
put some tomato sauce on it, take it to the office.
Toast some bread.
It's a nice lunch.
And it's a nice, yeah. It's a
Well,
very
these
nice
are,
lunch.
honestly, I can't, this is fantastic.
No.
This is so good.
And well, thank you.
Like, this is a really
Is it-
well-made meal, and I also, like, you can tell how much effort went into it.
Yeah.
Because you made something, I mean, you made 1, 2, 3,
It's 6 things.
4, 5, 6, 7.
What's 7?
Tomato sauce, yogurt sauce, green spinach.
Oh, if you count the, I didn't count the yogurt sauce. It was part of the salad recipe. So, but I mean, yeah.
3 sauces.
But there were 3, like,
3 sauces, 2 sides, 1 main, 1 dessert.
and if you're making food for someone else, I think this is the kind of effort you want to put in. Because
Well, yeah, you want someone to feel like, wow, Nathan really cared about this meal.
you want someone, and you also want to surprise them with how good, you want to go, oh, wow, this is actually good.
When I walked in, I mean, I think it's on the video before, but when I walked in, the smell was just amazing.
No.
The smell was really good coming from the kitchen. I was surprised by all the different dishes. When I saw the sauces on the table, you know, it was like, oh, there's colors. It made me want to eat it.
I'm actually not trying to impress you so much. I'm impressed all the fucking YouTube commenters who I know were watching me, like, going, the cucumber, I mean the zucchini, you know, and thinking, you know, this guy, and like, oh wow, oatmeal.
Well, fuck them, but also, I would not say that this was great if it wasn't great. And it's really good.
Yeah, because we could critique it too, and I actually, there are a couple of things that well, the main
Well, yeah, what would you do? What have you learned from the process?
So
Of what you do differently?
I've learned first that organization helps, because I was so disorganized in doing this, and it's all on the video. And first I have a very small kitchen that's hard to work in.
Mm-hmm. That's where organization is even more key.
And it's so like I was just everything's a mess. All the knife is buried under the parsley, and it's just. Like, if I had done some planning beforehand of where stuff was going to go and how I was going to do all this stuff, I actually did quite well. The timing, even though it took a while after you got here.
But the timing is the hardest thing.
But the fact that I managed to do the chickpea fries, then I did the sauces and the salads, and that was ready, so that the sauce and the salad were waiting.
Because those don't need to be freshly cooked. Those don't need to be hot.
So that actually went okay, but the actual there was just chaos in the kitchen in a way that clearly showed my inexperience.
Which is fine.
Which is
you don't
fine.
have that much experience. Yeah.
As for the recipes, I just used the old burger buns that I had sitting in my freezer, and they're a little bit of a letdown. But I didn't want to spend money. I spent so much money I didn't want to buy more buns when I had buns. But I knew they wouldn't be that good because they've been sitting there for ages. I need to make sure the veggie burgers hold together a little better, but in the end it didn't matter very much.
No, I thought they were good.
Once they were on the bun, they're okay.
And actually, one thing I really liked about these veggie burgers is, you and I have had a ton of veggie burgers in our lives.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're really like mush.
Yeah.
And they're not that great to eat. This was pretty good because it was crispy on the outside and nice in the center.
And of course, if you toast the bun, then that also helps give a kind of nice.
You really feel like you're
crispiness.
biting into something.
So you're biting into something. But I don't know. I think for the most part, it accomplished what I wanted it to.
I mean, the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
I guess I don't know much about proportions, so you end up with. I bought so many chickpeas. And I didn't know how much flour it made.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't either. I've never made my own chickpea. I mean, this is the other thing. I've never made my own chickpea flour. I've never made chickpea fries.
Yeah.
I don't think I've even ever made my own veggie burgers. You did a bunch of things that I've never done before.
The thing is, I actually, the Bitman book is really, if you know how to think about it, it's fun. Mm-hmm. If you don't, it's horrible. You just open that book and you're like, there are a million variations on a million things. But it is cool when you look through and you go, wow, okay, I'm narrowing it down. I'm going to do sides, a salad, a side, a burger, some sauces. Mm-hmm. We do that. Okay, we've got now a finite number of foods to prepare. Now we pick a side. Okay, he says chickpea fries turn out to be, he says they have a unique flavor and they're very tasty and not that difficult to make. Which they weren't that difficult to make. They were difficult to find the chickpea flour, but
they seemed pretty easy to fry up actually. They didn't. Honestly, sometimes regular fries are a little bit hard because like the potato is difficult to cook properly. But these cooked really well. Yeah,
he did mention that. He said, it's really easy to fry with chickpea fry. So I thought, well, that's nice. I want something that... In fact, you and I had discussed in the Making Dinner for Someone Else video, making things that are easy but look impressive.
Well, the chickpea fry sort of thing satisfied that because I was like, holy shit, I've never made a chickpea fry. I don't know what goes into this. It looked really impressive. But yeah, if I think about it, chickpea flour... compressed and then you fried it up.
Yeah.
Which takes a lot of effort, but actually is almost easier than a normal fry.
Yeah. I've also found another thing was I wanted to avoid doing normal fries if I could because I find that cooking so far cooked potatoes seemed a higher risk for me.
They're
hard to cook sometimes, a lot of the time, like
they're underdone.
Underdone in the middle or the outside. You know, potatoes are very delicate.
But I think that's a difficulty that a lot of people have with potatoes.
Yeah, cooking potatoes is not that easy. Bittman has his suggestions, but when he said like chickpea fries are easy, I thought, the hell, just do those.
It's funny because they're easier, but they're simultaneously easier and more impressive.
That's the
Because
thing.
everyone has fries.
Everyone has fries. Now chickpea fries. So that was the kind of thing where it was like we were talking about. You know, you put together a meal. You want things like a carrot puree.
Yeah,
right?
carrot puree. Which, oh my god.
Carrot puree. And you're like, it's carrots in it.
It's
in
you
a
blend
food
up
processor.
carrots.
So that's.
Yeah. What else? So you learned organization is key.
Oh my god. I mean, yeah, it's just such chaos. It's just such chaos. But I do think I would hope that people would take the lesson of, don't be think more with principles than with recipes.
Because the principles led to the choices on the recipes. I mean, I almost feel like we have to give a disclaimer because looking at this meal makes me feel like if I was watching our series,
You'd make this meal. Don't make this meal.
Well, no, that's not what I was going to say.
Oh.
That's correct. But actually, what I would think is maybe Nathan was faking that he didn't know how to cook at the beginning because this looks like a really well put together meal.
I don't think anyone who watches the part where
Well, I
I try
haven't
to
seen
make
that
the
part.
meal is going to think Nathan knows how to cook.
I will say that's what
You're going to think that because you didn't see the process. They all saw the process and they saw.
But that's
There are people who will be in pain watching how that came
That's
together.
kind of the key of cooking for someone else, though. They never see what goes into it.
They never see.
I'm here like, holy shit, Nathan's got a really impressive cook.
They never see, which is that there's this kind of magic trick that
Yeah.
goes. I mean, the magic tricks are neat because like you see something that looks miraculous, but actually there's something very mundane behind the miraculous thing. It's the nature of a magic trick. Well, this is just a magic trick.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see you biking to the Whole Foods and then the chickpeas and then grinding and then and what's gonna. All I see is
the
this
spinach
beautiful
fly all over the
all I see
kitchen,
is
onto
this
the
beautiful
floor.
chickpea fry.
You just see the chickpea fry.
And it's beautiful.
You
And the
don't
green
see,
spinach is
you
beautiful.
don't see me grinding the chickpeas in the coffee grinder and going, is that flour? and then like picking a chickpea out of it and going, no, and grind it a little more, and no one's gonna be fooled into thinking that I'm a good cook. But
I was.
everyone can cook.
Everyone can cook.
If you
Seriously, everyone can cook.
Everyone can cook if you just have like
Basic principles. I mean, because you also, like, in choosing the stuff, the thing that impressed me most was sort of, you thought about the food that was going to be on the plate.
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, okay, I'm going to pick 3 recipes from Bittman randomly. You're like, okay.
No.
Curated. Sides and main. Different textures. Different colors. Different, like, flavors and acid and salt and everything's pretty well seasoned. Like,
Bittman's good because he tells you what to do the seasoning. He's like, now add salt and pepper. Now add salt and pepper.
But that's sort of the main lesson. The main lesson is salt and pepper is really important.
But it was reasonably well seasoned. For the most part.
Yeah, I thought all the things went really well together.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about dessert.
Oh my god.
Dessert is the thing that actually also made me feel the feeling of when someone cooks for you, because I was like, oh, you thought about the thing.
Dessert. Well, I thought, what would it be without dessert? And of course I thought, well, you could just do, something simple. But I thought, and the dessert, that was the most difficult part logistically, because...
But desserts are also supposed to be, this is what Kate Root from Current Affairs does. She makes beautiful desserts for people. And what she knows is, like, desserts are complicated and extremely impressive.
Well, so the dessert is sort of it's like an imitation baklava, right? It's like a poor man's cheap ass substitute for baklava.
Oh, it's crispy.
And And so it's got pistachios, honey, simple syrup, brown sugar, and some spices, as you saw me put in.
It's really tasty.
But you see the strawberry, pure aesthetics, because it looks better. They put the
Well, it
strawberry
does.
on the side, and
It looks fresher, and you got the brown, white, red,
so I
green
bought
top
strawberries
contrast.
because I knew that it would just make dessert look really, really good.
Berries, I feel like there's such a pop of color. 'Cause it's
And-
so pretty.
As good as this is. So, this is made with phyllo dough, which, you know,
Actually, you did a.
I think Bittman is right. It's not actually that difficult to work with phyllo dough.
I feel like people sometimes say it's hard because it rips and because it can burn easily because it's so thin. But actually, you kept a good eye on them, so.
Yeah, it's true that it's obvious. It's obvious that it can burn a lot. I might have put a greater ratio of filling to dough if I've done this again, but it's pretty.
I mean, that's good innovation. Like, you're thinking about how you do it next time. This is very tasty.
It is tasty. And this is one of those things that I actually I feel good about the fact that I halved the recommended brown sugar because this is actually not that sweet.
It's not a very sweet dessert.
And I like desserts that are sweet
but
but
too
not
sweet.
too sweet. Mm.
Yeah, this isn't sickly sweet. It's actually funny because you and I came over the other night and I brought you 2 hand pies.
Yeah, New Orleans fried pies.
And
And they were just,
we started eating them and we were like, actually, these are kind of disgusting.
yeah.
And one of the reasons was they were just so sweet.
And actually, that's one of the things that I don't like about baklava is that
too
it's so
drenched in-
sweet
Yeah.
that you can only have like a tiny bit of it
Mhm.
before you feel like,
Like, oh.
oh my god,
You
like
don't feel it in your teeth.
a
yeah.
little chunk of baklava is sufficient. But this, like, you can actually taste the pistachio as pistachio.
It's also it's another good like cooking for someone else thing because even though you were saying it was the organization of the whole thing was difficult, the recipe seems pretty simple.
Yeah. That was the thing. And this is the other thing that they don't. This is one of the things that I feel like people should. There should be more instruction on, is how to juggle the many, many things that are involved in the kitchen. Because a recipe is deceptive. Because a recipe can be easy, but cooking a meal can be hard. And I don't know how, it gave me a new appreciation for restaurants. Because
Oh yeah, talk
I
about
was going like, how the fuck do they make? So I'll have a second one too.
Okay, I'll bring it over to you.
And and could you bring that ice cream too? Because the ice cream's interesting. There's something about the ice cream that's cool. This is, and the Halo Top people do not pay me, but they should, because I would say this is Halo Top ice cream, which my trainer recommended.
Yeah, this is like the healthier ice cream, right?
2 grams of fat. Sugar, only 7 grams of sugar. But 6 grams of protein. And so it's pretty high, and I actually think this is one of the lower of their ones. So it's very low fat ice cream that does not taste like low fat.
It doesn't
ice
taste
cream.
terrible.
So it's low fat and reasonably low sugar too. I couldn't believe how good this ice cream was in terms of its nutrition facts.
Yeah. But anyway, you were saying with the restaurants.
So, with a restaurant, like, you've worked in a restaurant. I've never worked in a restaurant. I can't imagine working in a restaurant because it's such a logistical, like, this was me trying to organize one meal for 2 people, and I had 2 hours. They are trying to organize dozens of meals, people expecting it in 20 minutes. Anything on the menu, all the ingredients having to come in to make anything on the menu any day. Specials, appetizers, giant parties of people. You never know who's going to come in through the door. You never know what they're going to want. It just seems like I can't even believe it's done. And I felt like in the kitchen, I was thinking, my God, the only way you could get this efficiently is with like a totalitarian system of orders. Like, you go there now, make this now, chop that. No, chef, not like that. No, you're gone. You're fired.
Any chef that I've ever worked for has been an asshole. I mean, this is why
all chefs are crazy, right?
All chefs are crazy. This is why Gordon Ramsay is not surprising. I mean, it need not be that way, right? We could have a wholly different restaurant industry built on different values.
Yeah, but
for the
it wouldn't be very efficient.
No.
It'd be like, our favorite cafe, Cafe Pamplona in Cambridge, Massachusetts, which is now out of business because...
But not because of its quirks. Because of COVID. Maybe because of its quirks.
Well, sometimes it took an hour and a half to serve you a cup of coffee. And they did not care.
No, and I appreciate... I mean, that's why we liked it.
Yeah.
Because we would just sit there talking for hours.
Right.
But I do get that some people might have wanted their coffee faster.
Right. So, I do feel like... it's going to make me always wonder more what's going on in the kitchen in a restaurant to make food happen so fast.
Yeah, I mean, what I can say briefly is a lot of it's time, and a lot of it's also prep. So you just have a bunch of people prepared. So let's say you're making this in a kitchen. Before the restaurant opens, you would have had people chopping all the ingredients, making everything. Like the chickpea burger mash would have been made. The fry batter would have been made. And so when there was an order put in for the burger, you quickly toast the bun. You put in you do the thing that you did in the pan. You put in the fries. You put in the burgers. Cook them up. But all of the work basically happens ahead of time. And then, I mean, the dinner rush is still very hectic because there's a lot of things you can only do last minute. But a lot of it is prep.
Well, I definitely don't envy anyone who has to make other people food for a living. Because it's tough.
The nice thing is usually you don't have to cook like you're in a restaurant. You can put on a podcast, put on the Current Affairs podcast, do it at your own pace, make enough for the week,
right?
And that makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah. Well, I think that's our meal.
Yeah, I mean, I just thank you. This was really delicious.
Well, thank
really
you.
Kind.
This is just me repaying what you have given me, which is the skill to make something that is not poison.
It was not. It was
not poison, and that means it wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. Everyone can cook.